the mystery, the magic of the Ark of the Covenant. Hey Divine Ones, Minister Ashley here. So I'm starting a new series. I dive into the TikTok trends on the spiritual or biblical side. First, the Ark of the Covenant. If you're like me and you enjoy sci-fi movies, you would find that this is very mystical, very sci-fi-ish if you read the story of the Ark of the Covenant. From my biblical studies, that it is a mystical box that contains some type of a power that in-house the spirit or the presence of God. So these are very popular videos that are trending on TikTok as far as when it comes to the Ark of the Covenant. So check it out.
There is a strange theory stating that the Ark of the Covenant was actually an ancient radioactive superweapon. Well, you see, the believers of this theory say that the Ark is actually an ancient weapon left behind by an ancient advanced civilization that the Egyptians later found and used to power its society. The theory claims that the Ark was actually a radioactive weapon that Moses later stole, which had enough power to part the Red Sea, destroy the enemies of Israel, and even power a manna machine that supplied the Israelites with food when they were wandering in the desert. This theory also goes further by showing evidence that the people who were not dressed in the correct safety attire as described in the Bible would suffer from radiation, citing that they showed symptoms of nosebleeds, loss of fingernails, loss of hair, or in some cases, even death. Even though the version where all these events were actually God's miracles are recorded in the Bible in detail, and you can watch the full video by clicking on the link in the description below, some people still claim that.
I find it to be interesting that if you go through like the Old Testament, you will see that they have restrictions on the mixing of garments. This makes sense because if you mix certain garments together, and especially if you were talking about gold, that can cause that type of effect. I would read the Old Testament back in my, regular church days, and I wouldn't understand that. And I also thought it was pretty harsh for the guy Uzzah, I think that's how you say his name, what happened to him just from touching the Ark of the Covenant. But that makes sense though. When you really break it down and look at it from a scientific standpoint, it makes a lot of sense.
Did you know that the Ark of the Covenant has actually been found? This is crazy because the Ark literally holds the 10 commandments that Moses got from God. And this all started because of a video by a guy called 𝗕𝗲𝐿, whose goal in life is to make it known that the Ark of the Covenant has been found. And there's many people who debate this and get grumpy about it. But the biblical backing that he uses is just unbelievable. Check this. So it starts back on January 6, 1982, where a man by the name of Ron Wyatt says he discovered not only the Ark of the Covenant, but the actual crucifixion site of Jesus Christ. He was doing biblical excavation when he found this small cave and he went through it. To make a long story short, he ends up finding this golden box with a cracked lid and a cracked ceiling through the entire mountain to the top with this hole in it. He also found a dark dry substance on the top of the mercy seat of the Ark. And he actually passed out when he realized it was blood, because according to the Old Testament, in order to fulfill the law, the blood of the sacrifice must be applied to the mercy seat. And if Jesus was a sacrifice, then according to the law, his blood had to be applied.
So they say that he found the Ark of the Covenant. And I found it, the connection between whoever was in the possession of the Ark of the Covenant in the Old Testament, they had the power, they had God's favor. Within the different locations that they said they have found the Ark of the Covenant, and you trace the history back in how they could have been successful at the peak of their civilization, the new technology that they have discovered and implemented into their society. Could this be because they had the possession of the Ark of the Covenant and they had God's favor? And would God's favor be because they had this box, and this box contained the presence of God, or that it contained scrolls, like I was said, the 10 commandments? And there's another video I'm going to do eventually about the 10 commandments, and the 10 commandments aren't really the 10 commandments. So that's a whole nother discussion. The 10 commandments could have been a recipe for success, a formula for success. There's so many different possibilities, and I want to hear your comments. Please drop your comments and your thoughts and your opinions down below.
Number 9. The Ark of the Alien Covenant. The Ark of the Covenant is one of the most coveted religious artifacts in the world. In the Bible, the Ark is a wooden chest covered in solid gold, complete with a luxuriously decorated lid and 2 long golden staves for carrying the chest. Within the Ark are the 2 stone tablets which contain the 10 commandments handed down from God to Moses. The treasure was last seen in Solomon's temple before the Babylonians attacked Jerusalem between 597 and 586 BC. Unfortunately, the location of the Ark has been a mystery ever since. But what if the Ark wasn't just a container for the 10 commandments? Some say the Ark of the Covenant was a highly advanced piece of technology used by the Israelites to communicate with beings beyond the stars. After all, it was Moses speaking directly with God who wrote down the commandments. It makes sense that the story has some connection to reality. Legend has it that when the Ark was used, an image of God would appear over the chest, almost like a hologram. And as you may know already, gold is used in smartphones across the world to communicate across huge distances. If there was an alien communication device needed to speak with beings across galaxies, chances are it would need to be made of solid gold, just like the Ark. However, as with most conspiracy theories surrounding the church and extraterrestrial life, this one is impossible to find evidence for. Nobody knows where the Ark is today, or if it ever existed in the first place.
About Nikola Tesla, he mentioned the Ark of the Covenant. And you know that he was into electrotherapy. He worked with electricity. Maybe he knew something about the Ark of the Covenant. Maybe he had inside details about the Ark of the Covenant. And maybe he gained some access or some knowledge. You know, he spent a lot of time by himself. Could the Ark of the Covenant be located somewhere around the world? Could it be in Egypt? Could it be in India? I mean, it could even be in America. We don't even know. And that is very interesting because it also reminds me of how they have been finding pyramids as old as the pyramids in Egypt here in the land of America. Maybe it could be here. So, I mean, you know, it's so many different possibilities. Please drop your comments and your thoughts and your opinions down below. Make sure to help grow this ministry and to help reach more people. If you could like, share, and subscribe, I really do appreciate it. Check out the blog, the shop, and my new book, my latest book, listed on Amazon. The hard copy is coming soon by popular demand. I am working on it. Thank you guys so much, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.